Okay, this is Unit 2 notes, writing absolute value functions. Let me just change this to a 2. So first we're going to look at the general steps. So the first step says find the vertex hk, plug the vertex into vertex form of absolute value function. So we're finding the vertex and plugging it in to this form. Then we're going to use another point xy on the graph to plug in for xy. So we're going to do the point xy and we're going to plug it in. Use inverse operations to solve for a. So our third step is to solve for a. And then our last step, it says insert your values found for a, h, and k into vertex form of absolute value function. So we're going to go back, we're going to put in our a, h, and k into this function, and then we're going to have an equation based on the graph. So let's do those steps over here. So remember, our first step is to find the vertex. Our vertex is 0, -3. And then we need to find a point. So they already have a point labeled for us, so we're going to use that point, 2, 1. Remember, our vertex is hk, and our point is xy. So we're going to be plugging this into y equals a, absolute value x minus h plus k. So instead of y, I'm going to put 1 equals a, absolute value. Instead of x, I'm putting 2. Instead of h, I'm putting -0. And instead of k, I'm putting -3. So then I need to simplify this in order to solve for a. So 2 minus 0 is 2. Absolute value of 2 is 2. So I have 1 equals 2a minus 3. Notice how I moved this answer here in front of the a. Okay, that's just making sure we have it in proper form. Now solving for a, I'm going to add 3 to both sides, and I get 4 is equal to 2a. Divide by 2, I get a is equal to 2. Once I have all that information, I am now rewriting my equation only using a and h and k. So I have y is equal to 2, absolute value x minus 0, but I don't need to write that minus 0 there, plus k, so -3. This is my equation that matches the graph. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2, first step, find the vertex. So our vertex here is -1, -1. And then again, I'm going to use the point that they give us. So they give us -2, 1. So remember, this is h and k, and this is x and y. So I have y is equal to a, absolute value, x minus h plus k. Instead of y, I'm going to put 1. So 1 is equal to a, absolute value, -2 minus -1. Notice how I'm putting my h in parentheses because my form already has a negative in front of the h. And then plus k, I put -1. So simplifying the absolute value here, I know these are going to go to plus signs. So this is -2 plus 1, which is -1. And since we're taking the absolute value of -1 is 1. So I have 1 is equal to a minus 1. Add 1 to both sides, and I get a is equal to 2. So again, I am using my a value and my hk value to form my equation. So y is equal to 2, absolute value x plus 1 minus 1. Last problem here, my first step is to find the vertex. And my vertex, and before I even label that vertex, look at our y-axis and look at our x-axis, okay? Notice instead of going by ones like the previous problems where it's now going by 5. So this is 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15. -5, -10, -15. So that means our vertex is going to be 0, 20, and our point is going to be 5, 0. So this is my HK and my XY. I have Y is equal to A, absolute value, X minus H plus K. Y is 0, X is 5, H is 0, and K is 20. Simplifying my absolute value, I have 5 minus 0, which is 5. Absolute value of 5 is still 5. So 0 is equal to 5A plus 20. Subtract 20 from both sides, and I get negative 20 is equal to 5A. Divide both sides by 5, and I get A is equal to negative 4. So now I'm using my HK and my A value to write my answer. Give me 1 minute, I need to make some room. So I have Y is equal to negative 4, absolute value X plus 20. Okay. Notice that I do not have a H value inside of the absolute value because my H was 0, and I don't need to write X plus 0.